Hi to my patrons and the people who could wait a year. Um, you may notice things are a little different. I'm in the hospital. Got something wrong in my foot. Doctors are stumped. They're working on it. Um, yep. Haven't missed an episode, and I'm not about to now. Nevertheless, things are a little different. This is the episode where I try to blink as little as possible. Let me get a thumbnail for that. Yeah, here we go. I don't know if I'm actually going to do this in the episode, but at least this makes for a good thumbnail. Oh, that sucked. I'm already not looking forward to this gimmick. Um, yeah, so bear with me for the hospital of it all. But here we go. We're gonna try to do this. We're gonna try to do this lo-fi if we can. Um, there's not gonna be an opening line. There's gonna be an opening explanation that I'm in a hospital. So here we go. Hey everybody, I don't have a snappy opening line this week because I need to tell you the fact of the matter, which is I'm recording this in the hospital. Yep, got something a little wrong with me. Doctors are stumped, they're looking into it. But I'm here. I have a private room, so I'm not bothering anybody. Getting this done while I do have a private room because they've been bouncing me around a bit. But yeah, sorry if the audio's not great. Sorry if whatever, not just up to snuff. But God damn it, I ain't missing a week. So here we go. In today's Fix My Carcast episode, hit the theme song.
Oh, Garbuda is a mighty beast. I've loved him from the start. They say he lives inside a lake, but his home is in my heart. The zealots say to try their God, but you know I simply can't. Cause Garbuda is the one for me unless you've got a grant. My car broke down and I went into debt. I've been paying, but I ain't done yet. You can pay for a topic or vote on a gimmick. Anything can happen, so come on and get with it. Fix my car. Hosted by Bear Claw
You're listening to Fix My Carcast, hosted by Bear Claw Billy, and this is episode 151. Comedian and musician Keith Hebert will join us after he perfects his double wink technique. But first, housekeeping. This is the show where you pick what I say and how I say it. Pick a topic or prompt by donating to the GoFundMe, and vote on the gimmick by joining my Patreon for just $1 a month. Join at the $5 or higher level and also get bonus episodes and behind-the-scenes footage. Links are in the description. Also down there, merch. Get yourself some merch. Why wear a hospital, Johnny, when you could wear a t-shirt that says Fix My Carcast on it? All right, no new donors this week. The total raised for paying off my car repair debt is holding at $2,342. Also, when we get to $3,000, it unlocks an automatic show gimmick, which is I will record an episode at sea. Fun fact, did you know that this whole podcast disappears when we hit $10,000? Gone in the blink of an eye. Hey, do you like the theme song? No? Well, if you make a donation of $50 or more, in addition to picking an episode topic, you get to change one thing about the theme song forever. Unless somebody else changes it back. Want me to say the lyrics like David Tennant? I'll do it. $50. It's hard to think of Blink-themed things, okay? If you would like to own the painting I made in episode 118, I'll be giving it away to the next person who donates $100 or more. That's right. Own a piece of Fix My Carcast history while you still can. If you'd like to see the painting before you buy it, it can be viewed in the raw video version of episode 118 over on Patreon. Link in the description. And no, the painting is not in the room because the room is a hospital room. No new patrons this week, bummer. Now it's time for a topic suggestion. I'll suggest topics I think I could easily talk about for a whole episode, though admittedly I think the show is more fun when it's something I'm completely clueless about. So, something I could talk about is being in the hospital. Maybe I hate it. Maybe I love it. Want to know more? Donate today. checking in on the best city in the world based on which city listened to the last episode the most, and our big winner is Westbrook, Maine. Congratulations, Westbrook, Maine. Let it be known that your Swanscombe Heritage Park, JJ's Clay Shooting Club, and Blue Water Shopping Mall are the best in the world for 7 days. Last episode, I talked about whatever my niece wanted to talk about while inviting my 3-year-old niece to be on the show. You can see video of all the raw footage plus a little extra over on Patreon. Also, head over to Patreon for a bonus episode where I talk about my absolutely adorable niece. Okay. Let's talk next week's gimmick poll. These are your choices for next week's episode gimmick. They are: eat Jell-O, eat turkey with gravy, eat tomato soup, and our returning gimmick, play Tetris. Let's review. Number 1, eat Jell-O, a gimmick I can do if I'm still in the hospital in a week. Number 2, eat turkey with gravy, a gimmick I can do if I'm still in the hospital next week, and also Thanksgiving themed. Number 3, eat tomato soup, a gimmick I can do while I'm in the hospital. And our returning gimmick, number 4, thankfully, luckily, also a gimmick I can do while I'm in the hospital, play Tetris. If it was one I couldn't do in the hospital, I was gonna sub it out, but miraculously, it is one I can do in the hospital. Remember that any gimmick that gets just a single vote is eligible for a second chance in 6 weeks. Be sure to vote over on Patreon. The poll closes Thursday, November 28th at noon Eastern America time. All right, time for today's gimmick, which is blink as little as possible. Of course, gimmicks don't start until housekeeping is out of the way in case any of them prevent me from sharing vital information. I'm going to get all my blinks out right now. I'm going to really wet these eyes. I'm going to get these eyes so friggin' moist, you're not even going to believe it. Oh yeah, moisturize. And that's not the word moisturize, that's moist your eyes. I guess technically moisten your eyes, but enough stalling. But now, we are entering the gimmick zone. From this point on, gimmicks are active and everything is improvised. There's no sponsored... Oh, fuck. There's no sponsored topic for today's episode, so I'll take inspiration from a randomized Wikipedia page, which is... Please don't be something bad. Oh, this gimmick sucks already. The Kingsvale formation. Okay, I want you to know I've already failed at this gimmick twice. It's try to blink as little as possible. Now, I have a theory that if I keep my eyes looking at one fixed point and I keep moving my head up and down and left and right, that'll be enough movement within the eye socket to keep my eyes moisturized, and so far, I've got to say, it seems to be working. If you look at the video version, so far I have not had to blink because I just keep moving my eyeballs around the old sockets. However, I'm going to have to move my eyes to the Wikipedia page so I can tell you all about the Kingsvale formation. So far, so good, friends. My technique is actually working out a lot better than I thought it was going to. I am technically not blinking, but I am finding a way to moisten my eyes. This must look really silly, and I would recommend going over to the whatever it's called, the Patreon. Apparently, it's very hard to think while you're moving your head. And fuck me, the entire article is just the Kingsvale Formation is a geologic formation in British Columbia. It preserves fossils dating back to the Cretaceous period, and that's the entire fucking article. I am looking at this on my phone versus the way I normally do it on a computer screen. And friends, I gotta be completely fucking honest. Tell you what, because it's hospital edition and everything's fucked, and I'm doing things as low budget and easy as possible, we're gonna get a new topic. And you know what? If they fuck it, if they keep being stubs, then I'm just gonna read them all off. Oh geez, okay, this is fucking dumb. Now the button to refresh is not doing anything. God damn it, another stub. Lobelia Boykini, Tony Allen. I don't know who that is. It's a musician. Let me click through. Okay, this looks like it's got enough. All right, scrap everything I said before about the topic. Everything's different. Everything's bad. I don't think I blinked, but also sometimes it's hard to notice if you've actually blinked. But here we go. Tony Allen is the thing. Forget what I said about Kingsvale or that weird fucking plant in the middle. Tony Oladipo Allen, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, was a Nigerian and French drummer, composer, and songwriter who lived and worked in Paris, France. Allen was the drummer and musical director of Fela Kuti's band Africa 70 from 1968 to 1979. Interestingly, the name of the band is Africa 70 with an apostrophe, suggesting that it's a year. So it's pretty funny that a band called Africa 70 was formed in 1968 and was one of the founders of the Afrobeat genre. Okay, cool. I gotta say, whenever I get a music topic, it seems to be one that I'm pretty darn interested in. We had that Lord song, which I did like, and we had Joseph something. It's been too long ago, but sampling the cheats. Go check that episode out. Oh, I keep doing like these little half blinks, but I'm doing my best to blink as little as possible. So far, the rocking my head in a circle technique seems to be helping me prevent blinks. If anyone out there feels that this is cheating, you can tell me. I will say, I did before, I just did 2 big blinks. I apologize. It won't happen again. Yes, it will. I will say I considered like kind of the Clockwork Orange, like manually holding my eyes open technique. But I don't think that would work as successfully as the just continuing to move my head. I've got to say, I keep moving my head left to right, but to get the full eye wetness, I've got to also move my head up and down. But so far, this does seem to be helping me to not blink. Wow, I'm learning a lot about Tony Allen. He was described by Brian Eno as perhaps the greatest drummer who has ever lived. And listen, you're talking to someone who loves drummers. I blinked again. I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to. It's very difficult. I'm also trying to keep an eye on the time code. Later in life, Allen collaborated with Damon Albarn on several projects, including Gorillaz, The Good, The Bad, and The Queen, and Rocket Juice and the Moon. I did not know that Damon Albarn was in so many projects, but nevertheless, I love me a drummer. Sorry, blinked again. It's going to happen, but I'm trying not to. This looks like a really long article, so I can't wait to learn more about Tony Allen. Sorry, I blinked again. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to hold the eyeballs open myself now and see if that helps me to not blink. Fuck, I really don't have the means to do this, but okay. So Allen was born in Lagos, Nigeria, to James Alabi Allen, a motor mechanic from British Nigeria, and Prudentia Medal from the Gold Coast, now present-day Ghana. And British Nigeria is now present-day Nigeria. He began playing drums at the age of 18 while working as an engineer for a radio station. Allen was influenced by music his father listened to, Juju, a popular Yoruba music from the 1940s, but also American jazz. I feel like I'm reading the article directly to you more than actually discussing the topic, but this one's kind of tough because this one is specifically about keeping my eyes focused in one place. It's not quite a staring contest, and I would love to do an episode where I have to do a staring contest with somebody else. But okay, I gotta tell you, this hospital bed is also not very comfortable, and this is also a factor in my discomfort right now. You're getting like 6 gimmicks at once this week, folks. You're welcome. This is what you get when the host of your podcast is such a hard motherfucker that they don't skip a week. All right, Allen was hired by Sir Victor Olea to play claves with his High Life band, the Cool Cats. That is such a generic name for a band. That really feels like what you would call your band in high school if you couldn't think of a better band name. But I'm not going to fault him on the band name. I'm sure the music's really good, and I'm sure when I'm done recording this episode, I'm going to listen to some of it because I do like Afrobeat. Allen was able to fill the drum set chair when the former Cool Cats drummer left the band. You're lost, buddy, and now here comes Tom Allen. Okay, so let's see. Fela and Africa 70. In 1964, Fela Kuti invited Allen to audition for a jazz high life band he was forming. Is jazz high life... I keep seeing this a lot. Jazz high life, it's hyphenated. Jazz High Life. Oh, hey, how's it going? Hey all, did you notice a really terrible edit there? Well, that's because my nurse came in to give me an IV 30 minutes before I was told it was time for my IV. Don't want to throw anybody under a bus or anything, but I'm going into surgery very soon, so I don't have too many more chances to record this episode. So here we go. There's an edit, and I don't care. Where were we? High Life Jazz. That sound you hear in the background is the sound of my IV pump because they're putting all kinds of drugs in me because we got to kill the thing that has all the doctors stumped. Again, I'm awesome for not missing a week, but god damn it. You do what you gotta. They come in about every 2 hours to do stuff, so I have a very small window to get things done. Again, not blaming them for anything, but I was told I had until 11, and at the time that I'm recording this, it is 10:30. It is exactly 10:30 right now, and I don't have time to start this over again because I gotta get to sleep and get chopped up and stuff. So, hey, let's get back to High Life Jazz. What is High Life Jazz? I've never heard of this before. What's extra interesting to me is that it is written in the article, and by the way, I'm back to my waggling my head around technique so that I can get my eyes nice and wet. Jazz hyphen High Life Band, but then later in the article, just like in the same paragraph, it's High Life hyphen Jazz Band, and also there's a quote about Alan's unique sound, where Fela Kuti said, "How come you were the only guy in Nigeria who plays like this, jazz and high life?" Okay, so that tells me that high life must be a separate genre that has been fused with jazz. I love it when music genres get together. I think it's great. Some of my favorite albums, musical fusion doesn't always work, but sometimes it's really great. I've heard great, like, rock drum and bass albums. I love, acid jazz is really good, where it's sort of got, like, electronic elements, but also jazz. Anyway, in 1969, following a turbulent and educational trip to the United States, Alan served as the musical director of Fela's band Africa 70. Okay, so it started in 1969, which developed a new militant African sound, mixing the heavy groove and universal appeal of soul with jazz, high life, and the polyrhythmic template of Yoruba conventions. I've got to say, I like jazz, I appreciate jazz, but I do tend to lean more soul and funk for my own personal musical preferences, but I've got to say, the funk and soul that I like when it has a heavy jazz influence. I feel like sometimes jazz can be a little too all over the place for me, but also sometimes soul and funk can be very repetitive. So like if it's right down the middle, where it's, experimenting with, the interesting aspects of both genres, and of course, music taste is subjective, that tends to be the sweet spot for what I like. So I am really, really, really interested in listening to some of Tom Allen's work. I blinked again. I apologize. I'm just going to keep going. There's no penalty for when I blink. The gimmick is blink as little as possible. So I'm doing my damnedest, folks, in a hospital with an IV hooked up to my arm. It's a wild time, folks, and I don't just mean for America, but hey, we're not getting into that. Hey, let's get through the next 4 years. This article. Okay, I was the only one who originated the music I played. Fella would ask what type of rhythm I wanted to play. You can tell a good drummer because we have 4 limbs, and they are playing different things. The patterns don't just come from Yoruba, but other parts of Nigeria and Africa. So it sounds like Alan was really good about taking influence from multiple genres and multiple regions. That's really cool. Alan recorded more than 30 albums with Fela and Africa 70. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to look into like what the most acclaimed albums are, because I can't listen to 30 albums tonight. Much like the Lord and the Joseph, I cannot remember his last name, episodes, I did on the bonus episodes listen to some of the music and give my thoughts. I'm going to be completely honest, folks, I don't know if I'll have time for that, because I do have to get ready to go under the knife. Sorry I blinked again. I should have just asked the doctors to cut off my eyelids. Then I would have really wanted this gimmick. As inventor of the rhythms that underpinned Afrobeat and musical director, Alan felt especially slighted. Fella stood his ground, stating that he would get the royalties for his songs. Fella did support Alan's 3 solo recordings. There we go. I can go right to Alan's 3 solo recordings. But again, probably not going to have time to listen to them before they cut my body open. All right. Let me see here. A bunch of quotes from Alan. Here we go. This next part of the Wikipedia article is Afrobeat to Afro-funk. Here we go. Bring in the funk. Alan formed his own group, recording No Discrimination in 1980 and performing in Lagos until emigrating to London in 1984. Great book. Later moving to Paris, Alan recorded with King, Sunny Ade, Ray Lima, and Manu Dibango. I'm not familiar with any of these folks, but God damn, okay, I just love a multifaceted drummer, and I love that just by hitting random on Wikipedia, I can find these musicians that I'm like, God damn, this is my thing. I am so excited to learn more about Tom Allen. Allen recorded NEPA in 1985, a year where a lot of great things came out, including me. Well, I was born in 1985. I came out in we'll figure that out later. Post-Fella, Allen developed a hybrid sound, holy fuck. I'm gonna love this guy's work. Deconstructing and fusing Afrobeat with electronica, dub, R&B, and rap. Alan refers to this synthesis as Afro-funk. Be the kind of badass who invents genres. My God, I am really excited to listen to this guy's work. I've never heard of him before, but I cannot wait to get into him. Alan returned with a much-anticipated new project for his 13th release. Talk about prolific. Geez, I thought I made a lot of music, but hoo-wee, this guy. Recorded live in Lagos with a full-sized Afrobeat band. Lagos, no shaking. Lagos is okay. Signified Alan's return to roots Afrobeat after forays into avant-garde electronica hybrids. I love electronica even more, so I cannot wait to hear this guy's drumming. Whoa, big old blink there. Big old blink. Big old blink. Sorry about the blinking. Later work. Wait, yeah, June 2006. This guy has been working from the 60s to I haven't gotten to the end, so I don't know when he passed. It looks like he collaborated with like everybody. He played drums throughout the 2003 album Love Trap by Sushila Rahman. Oh my gosh. Hooked up with Damon Albarn in 2006, and by that I mean collaborated, not had sex with, though I suppose I can't confirm or deny that, and I don't want to start any rumors. Alan contacted Albarn after hearing the 2000 single Music Is My Radar by Albarn's band Blur, which references him. That's cool as hell. That's a really cool thing to learn here. So Damon Albarn put a reference to this guy on his album, and then he reached out to him like, yeah, I want to work with you. That's really cool, man. I love collaboration. I love music. I love what I do, folks, and what I do is roll my head around in a circle to get my eyes wet without actually technically blinking. Alan played drums on 2 tracks on the 2000 album 555 by Charlotte Gainsbourg. Why do I know that name? I should know that name. I've heard that name, but it's not coming to mind who that is. I'm thinking of Serge Gainsbourg, I think. Maybe she's related. I don't know. Oh my gosh. This is, he just worked on everything. A filmmaker made a documentary about his life in 2019. Featured on a 2020 track. Okay, so I'm trying not to jump ahead, but I see that the next category is death. So sadly, Tom Allen is no longer with us. 2021, there's an album here from 2021, and a track released into 2024. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I was gonna say, wow, he must have passed this year, but no, in fact, he passed on the 30th of April, 2020, of an abdominal aortic aneurysm in Paris. Well, that is an absolute bummer. Tributes came in from musicians and producers, including Flea, Peter Gabriel, Jeff Mills, Nigel Godrich, and Sean Lennon. Damon Albarn said he was his #1 musical teacher, and he would never ever play with anyone like him ever again. Wow, what a legacy, what a life, what a cool guy. I am so glad I've learned so much about him, and I'm so glad you've learned so much about him. I don't know if you listen to this kind of music at all, but I hope this at least, scratches an itch in your brain that maybe you'd be curious to check it out. Yeah, I cannot wait to dive into this. And then there's a tab for discography, which honestly is probably a third of the article because yeah, you can just scroll. I could totally fill 10 minutes just reading off all the albums that this guy drums on. Wow. Wow. This is an amazing list. I mean, I'm not just going to read off all the names, but wow, 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 wow. This is incredible. I feel so honored. I feel so thrilled that I learned something new about an incredible musician. Especially the fact that like I'm just reading his Wikipedia. I haven't even listened to the music yet. Now, granted, I may be setting myself up for failure. That when I give it a rip, maybe I won't like it. Oopsie doodles. But I think I'm probably gonna because I love drumming. I'm obsessed with drumming. I'm especially obsessed with experimental drumming. I like when like the patterns are just like all unconventional and weird, but still have a really good groove. I can't wait to check this out, especially because it sounds like that whole article was people being like, nobody plays like you. You're crazy and insane good. Yeah, I can't wait to learn more about Tom Allen, which I'm mad that this thought went through my head, but I guess I'm going to hold it here. I suddenly noticed that his name is one letter off from Tim Allen, which I cannot confirm or deny how good of a drummer he is. I don't even know if Tim Allen has any musical talent other than grunt singing, which I guess he was an innovator on. But enough about that fucking guy. Back to Tom Allen, who sounds really, really, really cool. And now I've got to splice two parts of this together. I made more work for myself because I got interrupted. Do you think I should have just had the nurse on the show? That probably would have been the cooler thing to do, but I'm already ruining everybody's day here in the hospital. I don't know if they can hear me in the rooms on either side of me, but if so, they probably want me to stop talking, and I still got to do a bonus episode. I would really, really, really love to take the time to listen to some Tom Allen music tonight. I don't think I'll have time to do that and review it. I mean, I might fall asleep to it, but let me tell you what, maybe that's a future episode topic you could sponsor. Rescinded. Who cares about what my time in the hospital was like? The actual topic suggestion for this episode is what do I think about the work of Tom Allen? So there you go. That's your assignment, folks. If you feel like sponsoring an episode, let me talk about the music of Tom Allen. I can do that next week. My own personal review. I'll grab some albums and give it a listen. I gotta say, I feel like I'm doing pretty good on the not blinking front. I also gotta say, I'm doing pretty good on the decent length of an episode while I am in the friggin' hospital. As always, find your own beat. Ooh, oh my gosh. I gotta say, going into this with my theory of like moving my head around to keep the old balls wet, it worked way better than I was expecting. I didn't test it out. I just kind of was like, I bet that would work okay. It worked even better than I thought. But here's the thing. Now I'm going to watch the video back. And I bet I'm actually blinking a lot. But they're probably just like micro blinks where my eyes are just so thirsty that I'm like, quick one. But I don't know. I'm not going to do a counter in the corner because I'm in the friggin' hospital. I don't have time to edit shit. Frankly, I'm mad I have to splice two halves together. At one point, I had considered starting the episode over if I got interrupted. But we'd be here all night because they come in like every hour to check on meds and vitals and stuff. So not gonna happen. Time to start editing this all together. I hope the sound's good. I'm recording this on my iPad, so we'll see how this goes, and then I'll knock out a bonus episode before I go under the knife. Bye. Hope I don't die.